What's up, guys? Today we're going to be answering a specific question that so many newcomers have, so many people, longtime players that quit the game have with Tarkov, and that is 0.14 good? Now we're going to go over everything. We're going to be taking a wider lens and a wider look at some of the things that Tarkov has done for 0.14. We're going to go back and see the pros and the cons, and I cannot wait to get into it with you guys. Feel free to share your opinions of 0.14 in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the video. Peace. Now, I'm not going to waste any time. I truly believe that 0.14 was one of the best patches that Tarkov has ever released. I said on stream that this is a very make it or break it wipe for Battlestate. I felt as though if they didn't perfect this to absolute perfection, people were going to leave the game. And even though we do have people leaving the game now, I do believe that this patch was one of the best, and I'm going to get right into it and explain why I think it is the best. And I'm also going to get into some cons about the patch a few months down the line. So let me just start off with the big one. The new recoil change is maybe my favorite thing that they have added in Tarkov in a while. Yes, some guns are absolute laser beams, but I am a firm believer that this game has so far gotten away from the first-person shooters, the realistic first-person shooters, and they have gone to a specific thing to where they're adding so many things that are complicated that it just makes the game more difficult for people to get into and stick with it. Now, that includes myself. Battlestate has done a very, very good job with the recoil this wipe. I think the recoil was okay last wipe, but they have somehow made it better. They have made it a little more fun for a lot of the new players. Whether you have a starting gun or a gun with a bunch of attachments, it's a lot more controllable. It does have a little bit of a randomized pattern, it seems. It does seem to me that it might be more difficult for longtime players to get back in the Tarkov and use the recoil just because they're used to the old recoil. But other than that, I think the recoil change is one of the best changes that Tarkov has had in years. It was much needed. It's a great change of pace. It feels good. It looks good. Everything about it is good. And I think the recoil change is easily the best change of 0.14 patch. Now, my personal favorite I'm going to get into, and this is, like I said, my personal favorite from this patch, and that is the Shoreline expansion. I will be the first to tell you that Shoreline, in my opinion, was the best map of the game before this expansion, and it even doubled so with this expansion. Now, I do know that there's a lot of Shoreline naysayers. I fully understand your opinion, whether you like woods or customs. I think we can all agree that Shoreline needed this rework, and they have done a very, very good job with it. I do wish there was more points of interest, and I know that's been a long time issue with Shoreline. The farm is good, but I feel like nobody goes over there because the field is crazy long. They have added a quest over there, so that's nice. But other than that, it seems to me that there's no reason to go over there, and I wish there was a little more points of interest, and that is why I'm not going to say that this was my favorite change, even though, yes, a Shoreline expansion was my personal favorite in regards to, what I like. I can't say that this was the best change of the wipe because recoil really solidified that for me. Going back to Shoreline, though, the map seems good again. And I don't mean that in a sense of loot because Shoreline loot used to be one of the best. If you guys remember finding LEDXs, GPUs, all of that stuff, 301 used to be so much better than it is now. If they brought back the loot system in Shoreline, I would be so much happier. However, Shoreline seems to be enjoyable again. And what I mean by that is it feels more diverse. There's a lot more fights in areas that I didn't get in the fights before. The spawns seem to be okay. Shoreline Resort, of course, is good PvP as always. I've had some great fights this wipe there, and that's why I think Shoreline expansion is one of the best things that they have added. It's not the best, but it is one of the best that they have added this wipe, and I think we're going in the right direction in regards to Shoreline. Now, let me jump into some of the mediocre changes I feel like this wipe, and I think some of them can be good with a specific change, and I'm going to start off with Ground Zero. I think Ground Zero, in my opinion, is a really fun map. The only reason that I can say that it's not my favorite or can be one of my favorites is, well, clearly I can't play it past level 20. But also, the spawns are really bad. There are a lot of PMC spawns on that map, and with it being so close quarters, you can die within 15 seconds. It's pretty ridiculous. You need to know what you're doing. But it's a good map to start on, and I do believe it's a good direction that Battlestate wants to do with new players, is show them kind of like what's going on, how to play the game, what not to do, what to do, right? There's barbed wire that you can walk through. It shows that it does damage to you. Some of the windows will automatically push you out. I experienced that early in the wipe. Some of the windows will actually push you out of the windows, so it just is telling you, you know, don't get close to windows. Maybe don't look out. It's going to be a dangerous role. Grenade launchers, the MGs, it shows you like what they can do. I think it's just a good direction where Battlestate wants to go in regards to new players. Now, Ground Zero as a map, as a whole, I think the quests on it are very good. It gets to show you all around the map, but they seem very simple. The only quest that I can think of that isn't necessarily simple is the one where you have to go under the elevator and find the dead body, get the key, go upstairs, get the flash drive. I like that, but I wish there was more of those quests on that map, just so new people can kind of get it down, and the people that are returning to the game can love Tarkov again. And I think it's just a good change overall. I think Ground Zero as a whole is one of the best things that they have added this patch. It's very, very good in my opinion. But the spawns are what's holding me back from saying that it's a very, very good. Because I can't sit here and say that Ground Zero is a good map until those spawns are fixed. Now that we got through Ground Zero, I kind of want to get to the things in the wipe that I don't necessarily think were the greatest. Or, well, they weren't released as the greatest. Some of the guns this wipe, in my opinion, the new guns, the spear. The spear is the highlight of all the guns. The other ones just seem mediocre to me. I know some people use it. I guess I haven't used it enough. But they don't feel right to me. Usually when Battlestate releases a gun, everybody's excited for them. And we were all excited for the spear and the PB one, or, you know, the one that shoots the Val rounds. I forget the name of it now. Everybody was excited for that, and I just feel like the hype has died off pretty quickly. I don't think the guns are necessarily the most viable thing. The spear, like I said, is very good, but the other ones just seem mediocre to me. I don't necessarily want... this isn't necessarily one of my favorite things from the patch. Like I said, I think it's very mediocre. I think they just released it wrong. I think they should have added more guns and waited maybe a wipe or two, and then release a whole bunch of guns. But like I said, I can't sit here and say that the guns are my favorite thing in the world. And I'm actually going to get into something, and this is going to be a hot take. Now, hot take, vaulting. I think vaulting as a game mechanic is very, very cool. It has opened up so much more bugs and stuff that nobody else is kind of realizing. We are having people jump on top of Shoreline, gas station. We have people jump in the marked rooms. I think vaulting was good, but they released it entirely incorrect. It is the one thing about this wipe that I can say, although I like the game mechanic and I like being able to jump up on rocks and over fences and stuff like that, vaulting itself just seems released not in the greatest way. There's a lot of things that they need to fix. They're not fixed enough. And in my opinion, vaulting is one of those things that I can't just sit here and say that it was my favorite from this last wipe. I know a lot of people enjoy it. I enjoy it sometimes when I'm not jumping through ceilings. But vaulting just doesn't seem like it was ready to release just yet. It feels a little bit rushed. But I'm all for discussing that in the comments. And I hope you guys kind of feel the same. I know some of you guys won't. But if you guys don't, feel free to share your opinion in chat. Now, the last thing that I want to go over is the cheating situation. The cheating situation has been around for so many months now, so many years now, and it still does not seem to be fixed. We have a lot of cheaters every single time, and I will say one of the highlights of this wipe with the cheating situation is being able to see people's profiles. I know that people are faking stats now, which is crazy, but in my opinion, the cheating situation has gotten worse this wipe. It feels... some of the raids feel good, and then some of them just... you get your kit taken away. It just doesn't feel right to me. And it just does not feel authentic. It doesn't feel like normal Tarkov. And to know that I can go in with a really thick kit and get it taken away by somebody that is across the map really hurts my soul. I think the cheating situation needs to be figured out fast. It does not seem like it is getting figured out fast. I'm a little worried. However, I trust in Battlestate enough to release something that is going to get rid of some of these cheaters, whether it be a ban wave, a new anti-cheat. I don't know what it may be, but something needs to be done now, and this is one of the things from the wipe that I can say isn't my favorite. With that being the end of the video, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear some of your guys' opinions, the pros, the cons of the patch 0.14 for you guys. You can also talk about Arena. I haven't gotten into it with Battlestate releasing Arena around the same time. I figured I'd say that I am a fan of Arena. However, it's just not something that I'm necessarily interested in. I think the release date of Arena was very poorly timed, but to each their own, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.